Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, should be okay. Um, so I've been wanting to make this just completely unscripted, talking into the mic, uh, like discussion with myself, trying to figure out why I've been completely struggling to make any progress in any projects or activities, like life activities, like mainly scratch writing. This thing I want to try to figure out why I've just completely lost my excitement and uh, I don't know. So I'd like to just have like a 30-minute discussion with myself. So this is completely personal talk. It's only I'm talking about my own experiences and trying to figure out why I'm upset and struggling and things, and maybe other people will be interested and it can help them. But yeah, I'm just talking about myself. So I'm not talking about like issues with the Scratch website or anything. Because well, I guess if we're just gonna be just talking, I might as well talk about that first. So I think a lot of people are kind of criticizing the Scratch website, saying like, oh, all the projects that people are sharing are bad now, and the moderation is bad. Like criticizing for these kinds of typical reasons. I kind of disagree with those things. Like if you look at most projects now, they are much better than projects used to be 10 years ago. Like the fact that everybody has the resources to learn how to make a platform or whatever. Um, I think it's fine. I mean, this in a way could be tied into one of the problems that I'm having, which is that like the skill ceiling, the skill level, or the expectations of people, not just on Scratch but everything like YouTube, school, life, like maybe just everything in the last 20. I don't know. Expectations seem like they just are always increasing. It's not. It's everything in our lives. Like we are conditioned. We're like everything that that has been shouting at us in our lives is grow, earn, gain, keep doing this thing. Like get better, improve. Like keep going, make more money, get more views, get more subscribers, get more follow, whatever. And we're just constantly been hearing this. Oh, and we tie such positive emotions like to those things. And in some cases, even if you don't care about like followers, or everything, like you have to make money in the world, and like it's really exhausting. I think. Um, so in a way, like all the competition has gotten so fierce like nowadays with everything, and everything's becoming like at least on like most social media platforms, like everything is becoming so refined and like so so chemically engineered, whatever, so that like people can get the max amount of watch time or views or whatever. And I mean, I'm part of it. Like I think Scratch is actually better than most social media platforms in a way that like number one, there's no money involved. Like nobody's no, but if there was money involved with Scratch, then you would have engineering teams figuring out everything, like how to generate more views, how to like if you think it's bad now, then it would be like way worse if there was money involved. Number two, there's not many adults involved, right? So there's no incentive. Like there's no um like like the competition. It's sort of like the Wild West. Like anything can like you know. And number three, there's no like algorithms involved. Like you don't get prioritized for watch time or whatever. I mean, there kind of is like an algorithm. I don't know. Like you have to make it. Like I think a balance that I particularly and a lot of people on Scratch we have to keep in mind is like and maybe in real life as well is you have to have a balance between creating something with genuine passion and creativity and happiness and getting the numbers up. So like for me, I am really happy with a lot of my projects that I've made recently, like the Splatoon game and the Mario projects and a lot of stuff. But a lot of the reason it's popular, and there's a lot of the old animations I made and the new animation, but a lot of the reason it's popular is because they're based on things that I know people like and that I like too. So that's not the only reason. Like I know there's some people that only make things that are like remakes of popular games. Maybe they like doing it too. Like you try to push the boundaries of Scratch as much as you can, like see how well of a remake you can make on something. But like if I want to like I, I do feel like it's important for me. Like I have been wanting to make things that not only I really enjoy like making, but also have a good chance that a lot of people will want to see it. And I think in this what I just said maybe is one of the kernels or the key points of why I'm so I don't know what word to use. The word I kept using was struggling, like to find the desire to keep making projects. But then like why? So I'm trying to think why did I really enjoy making projects back like I started on Scratch in 2013. It was back then it was new and exciting. And my friend Lion Scratch he showed me projects made by a couple famous scratchers at the time were Lazo TV and Griff Patch and Mike on 002, Mike on 102, and the Pancake Man and those people. And I had a blast playing their projects. Like their projects were, I mean, I loved them. My friend loved them. We would meet up and talk about them. I would try to make all my projects based on theirs. I would draw stuff in real life, like about their projects, and it was really exciting back then because I was much younger. And then I kind of did, and my projects were kind of, I mean, I was a little kid, so I was making them, so they weren't that great. And there weren't a lot of resources teaching people how to make good stuff. So my projects were pretty bad, like by today's standard. But I didn't care because I really enjoyed making the projects. Like even though the way I was making them was so inefficient and I was struggling, I was like objectively struggling. I didn't feel that. Like I didn't feel like I was struggling back then. And I would show my projects to people in real life, like adults in real life, and I would be so proud of them, even though I could tell like they didn't like them. But I just didn't feel any of the emotions that I'm feeling now. Where now it's like I feel like pressure. Like I know so many people are going to see this, and I know some people in the background are judging me based on how good my projects are, and I do care. Like I do want them to feel like that I made progress. Like since myself, like many years ago, I know I used to have a different personality back then. I used to think that my projects were so great when they really weren't. Like I used to claim that I was like a super amazing quote unquote animate or whatever when I totally was not. I still am not. Like at my like especially for my age. Like I should well here's the word. The word is should, right? Quote should. Like should I do I need to be making like better stuff for my age? I don't because there's people that are like 5+ years younger than me making better stuff. I don't know. Like people would say no, you don't have to care about that. Like whether people would just keep making what you want. Which I mean yeah, makes sense. Like why would you get why would you stop working on your stuff just because you know there are people that are doing it better than you, especially on Scratch, right? Especially on Scratch, there's no real incentive to do better than anybody. Like I think having a good personality and having good marketing skill, like quote unquote marketing skills, is just as important as having good technique. Like you could be the best animator or game maker ever, but if you don't know what people like and if you are rude to everybody in the comments, then nobody's gonna like you. So you have to have all three of those things. You have to have decent projects, decent PR, I guess, or marketing skill, and you have to be a nice person in the community. So I've been trying to aim for all those three things, like a mix of them, and sometimes it goes really well, like with the a lot of it, and a lot of time, most of the times, like back in the 2013, then I took a break, and then I did 2013, then 2014, took a break in 2015, came back for 16 and 17, then took a break in 18, then came back in 19, took a break 2020, 21, now I'm back in 22, and come back. No, I took a break in 20. I don't know. I've taken a lot of breaks. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe I just need a break, like a complete break, like not even thinking about Scratch for like a year. But then I tell myself, like, haven't I already had my break? Like, I don't know. I mean, I have been making a couple projects, every once in a while, but I just don't feel excited to make them. Like one of the recent projects I made was the Scratch Cat edit. Oh, I'm just hearing something outside. That's weird. I've got the heater running. It's pretty cold here. This is another thing to be upset about in the orange here, which is nice. The water. But like the Scratch Cat edit that I just shared recently, and that was already 3 months ago. I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, like 3 months already passed since I did this. I've done nothing since. Like that was such a chore to make that project. Like for me, like for other people, it might not have been. Other people, it's totally subjective, right? But for me, I was so struggling with making that project, and all my projects recently, maybe because I made them by myself. But I used to make projects by myself, but I was commenting with other people, and I was sort of sharing them in a way that I didn't care about the perception. Like now I care about the perception, but with the Splatoon, I was sort of getting feedback from like dozens of people at the time, especially Alex. Like I know I'm just kind of talking in crazy circles. This is the point of this project, just so I can just keep talking and talk and try to maybe think about, like, get a little bit of clarity, and then maybe share it with people. Maybe there's something that somebody heard, they can latch onto it, and then we can get a discussion going in the comments. I figure that, people might say, oh, you shouldn't be talking, this is too crazy. Like, who cares about this project? Well, I'm sorry. Well, if you say that, then okay, fine. I don't blame you. This is boring. I probably wouldn't listen to somebody else talking. If I didn't care about the person, then I wouldn't listen to them talking for 30 minutes. But yeah, fine. If you don't care, or if you think that, oh, nobody's gonna understand this, or you think this is too serious of a discussion for Scratch, I don't think there's any problem. Like those people, they can just, you don't have to listen to this. So some potential reasons why I'm so struggling to do Scratch, but not just Scratch. Like I said, like it's my whole life at this point. I'm struggling with, like, I've got the chess that I'm doing, but I'm burning out with that too. School is like sort of okay, but I don't enjoy it, and I struggle with every time there's a huge assignment. I always just save it to the last day and then do it all from like midnight to 4 a.m., 5, 6, which is horrible, absolutely terrible habit. But I'm in it. I've been in it since 2020. I think that no, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. So I guess I just really care. When I was a kid, I didn't know as much. Like I still don't know, obviously, right? Just and like when you're a kid, you don't have as much experience. And that can set you up for a lot of failures, but also can make you really courageous, right? Like you go into that chess game not fearing anything, and it makes you do stuff, right? It makes you confident. Or I work on that Scratch project for an hour, and I make something, and it helps me grow back then. And that, whereas now I'm just so scared, like I don't know, like so yeah. Again, I'm just talking in circles. I don't know what's going on right now. Like, so yeah, maybe it's the fact that I'm just older and Scratch is not as exciting. No, but it has. I've been like in 2023, I was really excited to make the project. In 2020, no, but I know I was struggling. I know that I was struggling to make some parts of it. Like the first trailer I remember for Splatoon, I was really struggling to make the part with the first part with the paintball, like the orange guy painting the ground. Like it was really annoying to make that. I remember thinking, man, should I just quit now? So I've just constantly been dealing with this decision. Do I quit? Do I not? Do I quit? Quit, like for the past 2 years, like with every single thing. Like I almost want to like quit school, quit chess, quit going to see my therapist, quit Scratch, like quit everything. And it's really exhausting. Like because it is an option, always with everything. So yeah, it could be that I just know I know more stuff now, right? So I know what kinds of feelings people are able to have. Like I judge people all the time, so why don't people judge me, for sharing a bad project, or thinking that a project's so good? But I am proud of some of my recent projects, like Splatoon. I was really happy with that project. I thought it was a great project. It has flaws, but I really did a good job with that project, I think. And I want to do it again. Like on the surface, I want to say I know I have these ideas, I have these potential to make good stuff. I know it's possible. But if there's any roadblocks along the way, it's just horrible to deal with, you know. That's why I feel like anything somebody's successful in life, anytime I got an assignment done or a project done or won a chess game, whatever it is, it's basically luck. It's not skill, like it's luck. Whether you happen to be at the exact right place in the right time for some specific solution to be there and you to grab it, right? Like with the Splatoon game, the reason why the whole development process went so well is because I figured out the biggest problem right at the beginning, is how to make the paint map sync in the cloud, which I'd never done before, but I found a project that had a similar thing, so I was able to use that as a reference and get that working. So then once that was working, then I just kept adding the things like the scrolling, the players, the weapons, the menu, etc., right? So just that. Whereas now with a lot of my projects I'm working on right now, like the 3D project, like several 3D projects, and the Toast project, and the Christmas art, and which I haven't even started, right? And the couple animation projects, like I was going to make a animated feature for Chirpy Reverie. Still could do it, like for the 5th anniversary of that game or something would be nice. But yeah, I remember why I quit making that project, which was going to be a great project. Like I have so many great ideas, great potential to make these projects. But if there's something that I can't get right, like I couldn't think of a good way to make the story for that project, or how to animate the scenes, exactly what happened. Or I can't figure out how to make these stupid buildings work in the 3D game. Or I can't figure out how to make I forget what was it that caused me to stop in the Toast game, like the gameplay mechanic. Like how am I going to make it so that people don't get frustrated when they die during the battle royale and have to wait 15 minutes? Or how do I even start with this Christmas art that I want to make? Like, why I can't even make a freaking art piece? Like, I'm not trained well with drawing at all. Like, every time I share, the only things I do share nowadays is if I think it happens to look good, was because I got lucky with happening to put like draw the composition, it looks okay. Or I happen to, the leg, or the person or leg looked really bad, and then I happen to tweak it a little bit, and then all of a sudden it looked good. So it's all luck. So there's an element of luck, and now I am feeling like it's an element, it's a risk, it's a huge risk, it's like an investment. It's like I have to take, every time I start a project now, it's a huge risk, it's a danger, it's a threat, it's like all this negative stuff, because if I create the project, and then immediately there's a roadblock, or 50% of the way through there's a roadblock, or 90% of the way through there's a major roadblock. That's terrifying, you know, that's awful, and it gives me these awful feelings, and because that's gradually happened over the course of my making of projects, or playing chess, or doing assignments, throughout my life, throughout everybody's lives, more and more negative things keep happening, and it just creates this sense of fear in people's lives, and I mock people for not having fear, and for not having, like, making sensible, or like the quote-unquote sensible decisions, like, or, like, people that have super outlandish personalities, or saying things that are totally self-centered, which is how I feel like I used to be. So now I'm like I did a total 180. Now I freaking hate myself and struggling with everything, and criticizing people that are succeed, that are apparently using their personality to succeed in the world, succeed whatever. So it's really crazy. And like everybody that's, I don't know, I don't want this to like evolve into something else, like some totally different conversation. So I don't know what are potential. So I'm trying to think, like, what are the reasons? Like, can I put in bullet points? Like, what are the reasons why I'm struggling with these scratch? Like, if I want to make this Christmas project that I want to make, like, just an art piece, because number one, the problems I'm facing. Number one, I don't know how to ensure that there's a good composition in the drawing. Like, I don't know how to make sure everything looks right. Like, the position looks right, the main character looks right. I just want to make a simple art piece. Like, well, it's not, I don't know if it's gonna be simple. Like, for me, I just want to make it so that there's the Scratch Cat. He's standing on a building, like with a scarf on. Maybe he's got his arms crossed or thinking or something. Standing on a building with snow. And there's a tree in the background with lights. Maybe there's a shadow of another person. There's some city lights, and there's snow falling. There's Last Christmas playing in the background, and like maybe use this dynamic lighting thing. Like, see, and all what I just said is so complicated. Like, for me, I don't know. Like, if you're an artist, it's probably easy peasy, right? But I'm not an artist, so I will struggle with every single one of these things. Like, how do I make this thing? Like, if I was a kid, I would just bang, 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 just try it, see it works. I would be so confident I would do it. I would be done in an hour. It would probably look like garbage. Like, all the like everything. Like, so many of the projects 10 years ago, I look at now, and I'm like, wow, this is like everybody's project. I'm sorry, I'm like sounding like more and more angry as the project goes on. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe I'm just tired. But like now, I'm just so discouraged by everything and struggling with making every single step of the project for all of these. So if I can't even make this one Christmas project, then how on earth am I going to make a gigantic platformer, like, in a few years, like animating hundreds of costumes for this main character, making level art for everything, making a system so that things can be on screen at all times in open world, like no loading screen, like, and there's no bugs. Like, how am I going to create a gameplay mechanics so that there's scratch blocks, you can modify scripts, like, of objects in the world? How am I going to make a story? Like, if I make a story for that game, like, I wanted to, I think it would be really interesting if I make the main character, like Scratch Cat, go through a similar problem that I'm going through, like an existential crisis. Like, because I want there to be like a simulation, like they eventually discover that they're in a simulation. Maybe it makes Scratch Cat like double down, question like, why is he in this existence, like struggling through his life, and meanwhile the villain is trying to break out of simulation into the real world. And there's gonna be like AI, and like Scratch Cat somehow gotta like use some some technique that maybe helps me overcome my problem, my mental health problem. Maybe Scratch Cat would use it. So there is potential for it to be an amazing story, but it's so unrealistic. Like, how am I ever going to do that? Like, if I can't even do this one thing. Now, you could argue, okay, the Christmas project is like one thing. Like, there's so much pressure put on the one thing, like the Christmas project. If I can't draw this right, if I make it look bad, if I can't figure out a way to make the dynamic lighting look good, then the whole project, like, that's one project has failed, right? And like, people have been waiting for this for so long, so I gotta make it good. Like, there's this pressure. I don't know. I never used to have that. I never used to feel so, like, judged by other people. Even though there's no evidence that people are judging me, I just feel it. Like, I just feel that there are these people out there that hate me and that are gonna criticize everything that I, which, um, So I need to think. So again, I haven't outlined the bullet points of why I think I'm struggling. So mainly, I guess it all comes down to my fear of the perception of other people judging me, like, for the projects. And then, like, if I say that, then those same people will say, oh, we don't care. Like, who cares? Like, why are you making such a big deal about it? But I don't believe them. I don't believe, you know. And they'll say, does it matter? And like, it does matter because this Splatoon made me feel so good. Like, that project was so fun to make. Everything went well. The launch went well. People loved it. It still sits in my mind. That was probably the peak of my life. As ridiculous as that sounds, it wasn't ridiculous. No, I'm genuinely, extremely happy and satisfied with that project. And I want to do it again. I really hope that I can get more experience. Like, I hope everybody in this listening to this, especially if you listen this far, like everybody on Scratch can hopefully get experience like that. I really want to do it again. Like, 'cause I feel like it's not just Scratch that's the problem. It's like everything with my life and probably a lot of other people's lives is just being so, like, we've fallen into the trap of social media and, like, isolation is, like, I don't know, like being scared of everything because everything is judged. Like, everything is judged on your performance. Like, at least when there was no social media, like, people had like two parts of their lives. Like, one was the awful going to work, making money part of your life, and some people, luckily and lucky for them, enjoyed it. Like my mom. Like, my mom really likes to work and go to a job and, you know, work for somebody else. And I thought, because I was a kid, I used to believe that. Like, I used to believe, oh yeah, people are lazy, they don't want to work, we're going to sacrifice everything, we're going to do great for this country and whatever, blah blah blah. And then as I got older, got a little bit more experience, learned more things, you realize, like, I think a lot of young people are realizing that it's absolutely terrifying, the world that we're about to go into. Hopefully people that are listening to me right now agree with that, because I don't want them to, well, maybe not, because, like, I don't want to reinforce, I don't know, life is just so complicated, so crazy, so, like, such spaghetti, you know. Again, I still haven't figured out why I'm struggling with stress. So, perception by others, which is a fault of, like, being, like, on social media, and, like, just because that's the way our humanity and culture, blah blah blah, is capitalism, and it leaks into the way people are perceived, like, I don't know, the way people are feeling about creative things. They're supposed to be creative and purely for expression, like Scratch. Number two is struggling against specific roadblocks that I really, really want to break down, that I didn't care about when I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid, there were probably a lot of things that I wanted to make that I couldn't, and I just moved on. Like, I didn't get that upset over it. But now it's like every darn thing is a prerequisite. Like, everything. If you can't get up and make breakfast, then your life is basically over. Like, it's like that, right? Like, if you can't figure out how to make this grass look good, then you might as well quit making your game right now. Right? That's how it feels. And number three, this might be important. This might be an actual good potential for a solution. I just need to get back with talking with more people, especially with the development process, because I know that was really fun when I was making Splatoon with other people. Like, no, I was by myself. Nobody helped me making the game, but I shared it on this account being, I just made it sort of secret, so not hundreds of people would be looking at it. But, like, there were like a dozen people that would keep checking it, especially Alex, and they would all be, like, giving feedback, like, this is awesome, this is great, and some Japanese people really getting into that. That's another thing I'm struggling with, the language, like, how I'm not making any progress on that. If it weren't for Scratch and, like, keeping my computer in Japanese, I would be totally forgotten all of it by now, just because I hate working on it so much. I hate working on anything anymore, like, everything. But that was really fun, like, working on it with other people, like, when there was, like, a community, like, a feeling for it. And I know, like people, like, young people nowadays, like me, especially, like, included, like, we are scared of people, right? I didn't care during COVID, you know, it gave me more time to do stuff that I wanted. But and you would think, oh, it's so nice being alone, like, I can work on stuff myself, not have to worry about anybody. But it does get really lonely, and then you think, why? It doesn't feel right. I don't know why. So because, yeah, I don't know, if I was just by myself working on that project, maybe I wouldn't have gotten it done. So, because of my friends that were just that's all it was, just commenting on Scratch. That's all it was. No voice chat, no instant messaging, just old school Scratch comments throughout the development of Splatoon. It kept me through the whole thing, and it was really fun. And now I just don't have any of that. So that's a potential solution, is just using Scratch comments to just share the beta of the project. This is another conflict, like, a question I have to ask myself, like, do I want to keep some surprise, like, I kind of want to keep it like Nintendo, because I know as a Nintendo fan, it's really exciting to watch the Nintendo Direct, see, like, pay attention, oh, what are they making, I wonder what this is, oh, this is awesome, share the trailer, share the countdown, everybody joins at the same time on launch day. It's a great experience as a fan, so I'm really enjoying trying to recreate that on Scratch. Like, with the Splatoon, I had this whole campaign, like, sharing 3 or 4 projects before the project launched, and then having everybody on the same day playing it. It was awesome. It was genuinely amazing. It was awesome. It was the best experience. It was probably the peak of my life so far. I really believe that. I do not have any regrets with that at all, and I really want to do it again. Like, I wonder if people are wondering, oh, I wonder what he's making. That's why I'm worried, like, with this too. Like, I have that additional pressure. Like, not only have to make good projects, but I do have to make them, because if I don't make them, then people are gonna forget about me. Because, I've checked, I do this. I have a graph, like, a table with all the followers of, like, top people, and I keep track of, like, who is potentially gonna outrun me and stuff. Like, I do, like, I don't know. And I think, oh, this pressure, like, keeps it so that I will keep making projects, right? So because I don't want to get outrun by these people. But again, that's like but I've always been, it's like, I was gonna say, it's like a curse of, like, social media, right? But I've always thought like that. Like, I remember, like, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I did used to care about follower counts, and it was going up, and I liked competing with the other people, but I didn't feel this pressure and all these horrible feelings about making projects. So why is it that right now I've totally lost my confidence? And back then I was talking with everybody in the community too. It was super fun back then. So now I'm just, like, completely by myself, and I'm not getting any. I am getting feedback, like, in the comments of the projects, but I just kind of think, well, it's nice, but I am one person. I can't pay attention to hundreds of comments. So I don't know. Okay, so the social media aspect is making, no, but I did have that. I used to have that. I did enjoy it. Like, it didn't have so much pressure on me. I don't know, as it does now. And the perception by others, like, these people, I feel like I don't want to, even with, like, the updating the Splatoon game, like, there's a group of Japanese people. We have the Splatoon Kenku Kai studio on Scratch, where it's like people like competing to get the top scores and finding new techniques. It's an amazing studio. It's all about my game, Splatoon. It's amazing. And I feel bad because I'm not doing anything to update that game anymore. So, I mean, I don't want to. And I do feel bad, but not super bad, because I feel like it would be better if I was just making other stuff. But I can't, like, I don't know. So I basically not reached any conclusions after this whole thing. I guess the only solution is just keep fighting, just keep hoping that I come across the specific solutions to break down the specific roadblocks. And just talk with more people about it. I don't know, because... right. If you've gotten this far, I know some people are wondering, why don't you quit Scratch? Like, most people, when they're your age, they quit. They just move on. They just leave Scratch, move on to other programming or other whatever. I've already decided I don't want to do that, because, and I think it's a good decision. I think it's a good decision that I'm staying on Scratch, because I don't want to go into a potentially even more stressful environment, like way more stressful environment. If it's a programming lab or like a animation thing where you are actually dealing with the money and it becomes a complete chore. Like, I feel like at least I can stay on Scratch. I'm already good at it. I'm already having the potential to make these good projects and sort of get this good experience watching how it evolves over time. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't talk about, is why I am concerned about, like, Scratch's infrastructure. I really hope that Scratch survives, like, the next 10 years. Like, getting enough funding, getting enough users. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, hopefully, I don't know. I hope, I don't know. I have no idea. And now, what was I just talking about? Like, this whole thing is just me spitballing. It's totally unscripted. I have nothing. Now, we're already at 44 minutes. What am I even saying? Yeah, I'm not joining, and I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to stay on Scratch, just trying to make good project. It can be a good hobby for me, which it was in 2022, 2023. No, it wasn't. I don't know. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm changing as a person, as a human being. I am a human being. I don't know. Hope that there are specific roadblocks. Like, sometimes I do ask, like, in specific studios, like there's a studio, Technical Scratchers and 3D Graphics on Scratch. I have gone there and asked questions, and some people are really helpful. They do actually, they're great, and they help. And sometimes I try to help other people too with their stuff. It's just like no one person can completely devote their time to helping other people. Also, it's kind of boring and doesn't really reinforce your own learning. Kind of does, but kind of doesn't. I don't know. And that's great. Like, that feels great to ask people for help and have them see your project, give some little bit of feedback, like whatever. So maybe I just need to do that more. Maybe there are some, like, other studios on Scratch that I can just join and, like, discuss, like, project, or just keep my project running. Just, I don't know, but I can't share the 3D project right now because I've got to fix these problems, because there are those roadblocks I'm facing. Like, I might as well just, that's what I probably should do. I should probably redo everything from the beginning. No, but I don't want to do the controls right, because everything's so complicated. Like, it's so complicated. This is what I'm dealing with. It's so intimidating. It does make me want to quit. When I try to think about how to solve these problems, how to straighten out my life, it's so complicated, and it makes me want to quit everything. And I never used to be thinking this stuff as a kid. Like, when you're a kid, you're just thinking, oh man, I'm gonna get up. Yeah, what are we doing today, Mom? What are we doing? Like, I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna go to the park. It's gonna be awesome. Like, oh no, that bad thing happened. Oh no, and then it's over. An hour or a day, whatever. You're not thinking ahead of all the bad things that could happen, because they are going to happen. Bad things inevitably happen, and you learn that throughout your life. Then it builds up this mentality when you're a teenager, maybe like 50% chance. And that's what I'm in right now. Like, I know what kinds of failures are out there and that are awaiting me, and it's really terrifying and really, you know. And that's why I haven't been with other people as much too, because I know that can go badly too. Like, you don't want to get involved with people that are going to be really annoying, or potentially, like, don't do what you, or like hurt you, or like potentially lead you into bad situation or whatever. Yeah, mainly people are going to be annoyed, or that they don't do what they want, or that are going to get you involved in plans that you don't want to be in. So that experience has led me to think to myself, I just shouldn't associate with anybody. I should just go completely by myself. Like, I should just go completely solo and not deal with anybody, because then it'll take the complications out of my life, like dealing with other people. But now that I'm talking with myself, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I should, well, don't wrap myself up with people that, like, get myself involved in, like, plans that are going to be completely impossible to take out once you join it. Like, commenting a couple times on a Scratch project, trying to fix this thing, is totally fine. Like, it's totally non-committal at all. You can just do it. It's easy, and you get human support. Human feedback is great. So that's probably what I should do. I should not join programs and join things that are going to require a lot of dedication, and then it's going to put an insane amount of pressure that if I fail, then I'll feel even worse about myself. So, yeah, we're almost at 50 minutes, so this is going to be like, if each recording's 5 minutes, then we're going to have 10 recordings. Okay, so, yeah, that could just be a solution. Like, I could just, all right, I'm going to have to, okay, so what am I going to do about the Christmas project? And then after that, I want to get started on this 3D Toast project. I want to share the demo of that in January, because I have to. I really want to. I know I can do it. Just forget about the buildings, the complicated system. Just get the player working, get the shooting working, get the cloud multiplayer working. Just have a quick menu. You can select your character, share it, and be done with it, and have it, so people can see that this is something that's in the works. like it's not enjoyable. Like, what am I doing? Like, it's such a long process to make a project that I must need this support, like this positive feedback along the way of people being excited, seeing, oh, what do you add next? Oh, this is great. Oh, that's broken. You need to fix that. So I probably need to do that. Like, that's probably the solution. I should just share the project, like, right away on my test account here, like the initial stage, right? And then keep updating it throughout the day or every day, keep incrementing the timeline and the version of the project by 0.1 all the time. And just get that feedback, just get people commenting on it, get people seeing, oh, this is great, you did it, awesome. And that maybe can keep me going, keep me through this. Now, again, the reason why I haven't been doing that as much is because I want to keep some surprises. But maybe at this point, I'm struggling so badly to get even any progress. It's just do it. Just you'll ruin the experience for 20 people. No, but you won't, because you're getting a different in return. Okay, this is probably the solution. You need to do this. Just work on the project in a place where everybody can see it. Because this is what I need to do. This is what I need. At this stage, I have lost all energy to make a project like throughout everything, right? Like a complete project, like without any feedback. At this point, I need the positive feedback because I need to regain that human connection. I need to regain steam. I need to regain like the sense that what I'm doing is good by having the project shared and having people come on and see it, see the progress that's being made. And once it's a cloud game, then they can be in the game and it's great. So that's probably what I need to do. And then once it's done, then that's your problem solved. Then you can focus on, okay, whether it's worth it or not. That's all bonus at that point. So I need to do this. I need to get through the hard stuff by enjoying my time with discussing with other people. Okay, that's probably what I need to do. So what am I going to do for the scratch at least? Right? Honestly, no, I don't think I need to do that. I was just saying, should I just rebuild the whole thing from the ground up? Like all 3D stuff, like everything? Because there is some new stuff that I want to incorporate from the 3D Mario into it. Like the grass and the pen buildings. So we can do that. But then I need to figure out how I'm going to do the shooting because it's such a complicated. This is why I'm discouraged and struggling with making this, is because everything is so complicated. Like the Christmas part, I just explained like 10 problems I'm facing. With this thing, I got to decide: am I going to make the bullets like clones? I'm just going for the demo. I don't care about the gameplay. Just make sure you can drop off the plane, go in the world, have a couple buildings you can jump on, just choose your item, just fire at people and just play and just go. There's no score, no nothing, anything. Just simple demo. But how am I going to do the sprites? Okay, we got the sprites. We got sort of shooting with the clones, but are the clones going to be okay when we do the online stuff with the bots? Like, how are the bots going to work? Do I want the bots online? That's going to be complicated. Well, we're going to have to figure out some way for the bot to point towards the player. That's probably okay. Once we get the cloud multiplayer in the 3D, that'll probably be a really good emotional boost because that'll look really cool, like really exciting. Like, oh wow, this is going to be the first like really cool FPS on Scratch. But yeah, so I definitely need to do that. I need to get this going. I need to review how my cloud multiplayer works. It's so intimidating, right? And another thing I didn't talk about yet is sometimes I like to record my progress and put it live on YouTube, but that's really difficult too because I don't like the fact that anybody can just come in and see it and potentially judge me for what I'm making. Meaning like the way it looks, because people do that. If you say, oh, I don't care, it looks great, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I don't believe the people that say that they're not there to judge. I don't. Everybody has an impression when they look at something nowadays, including me. Like, I judge other people, so why wouldn't people judge me? And I know that it takes hours and hours to get something to look good. For me as well, like artists, maybe they know what they're doing. They can get it right in a couple tries. But for me, it takes so many tries before it looks good. Like eventually, I hopefully share it in a way that looks okay. It still doesn't, but at least it looks okay. But it's a massive struggle to make it look good. And it's totally luck. Like, it doesn't matter. You can try as hard as you want. It's all luck. Like I said before, earlier in the recording, it's luck. It just depends on whether you happen to, by a complete miracle, find a specific solution to make it look good, to make that person look good, to make that lighting look good, or make that script work, or come up with that gameplay idea. It's all random chance. So it's a huge investment. It's risk whenever you make a product. That's what I was saying. But if I were to do this thing where I do the incremental development updates and have people in the comments, then maybe it would remove that feeling of risk because, number one, people would get the feedback. I would be constantly getting feedback from people saying, oh, this is good, you should do this, you should keep going with this. And that's valuable feedback. And we can have some discussion going. Like, I can discuss with people in the comments, should I keep this, maybe that, I don't know about that, right? So that's good. So I should definitely do that. Maybe I should do it with this Christmas art project I'm trying to make, but no, because it's so embarrassing to be struggling on something, which just ties in with this awful connection we have with perception of others because of this social media, you know, like... Anyway, all right, we've been going for about 1 hour, so, and this 100 megabytes recording, so I'm going to have to split it up somehow and put it into 10 recordings on Scratch. Yeah. Okay, so, did I reach any conclusions? I guess that like, life is hard, it sucks, Scratch is hard for me because I'm older, and I'm having these awful feelings of being judged by everybody, people I don't even know, and working on the projects is so difficult with all the roadblocks and considerations you have to make, and feeling that you're being judged. So the solution is just to keep sharing development updates of a project on your side account where people actually do care, where the most dedicated people will go and find and care and actually try to give feedback and help you through making this project. You can see the development progress, whether it's a game, maybe you can do it with art. I don't know. I don't know. It's really, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna hope that I get lucky enough that things work out, because it is luck. It doesn't always work out. When people say, oh, everything, don't worry, it worked out for me, everything's gonna work out. What you don't see in life is all the people that have failed and that it didn't work out. Those are people that are ghosts that we never know about. All right, so that's what I'm afraid of. Okay, this recording is going to be exactly 1 hour long. Thanks for listening. Merry Christmas.